Surprisingly, I'm shocked about it. What the heck? It's been like over a month.
Rad's house.
Oh my god, there's a noise! I kind of figured that was gonna happen. Anyways, guys, hello there. Yes, it's Rad here. Rad's back. Rad's back! It took a long ass time to actually get back here, so apologies for that. I kind of figured that was gonna happen. Anyways, guys, hello there. Yes, it's Rad here. Rad's back. Rad's
Where's
back.
that coming
It
from?
took a long ass time to actually get
I'm
back here,
confused!
so apologies for that.
One
I kinda
sec.
figured that was gonna happen. Anyways, guys, hello there. Yes, it's Rad here. Rad's back. Rad's
Where's
back.
that coming from?
One
One
sec.
sec.
Time.
No. No.
Where
is it coming from?
Where is it coming from?
I'm so lost!
Where is it?
Oh god!
Where is it coming from?
I'm so lost!
Shit! What was that? I couldn't even tell which one it was at! I'm so confused! I'm Princess Unicorn Kitty. I'm so sorry for the awfulness that you just heard. I'm just like, what the fuck? Alright, one sec. Oh my god. That was absolutely amazing. Also, I like how bad okay, I swear, YouTube's like stupid studio thing is the worst thing in existence. It's the worst thing ever. I hate it. I hate YouTube's stupid chat so much. Oh my gosh, Princess Unicorn Kitty. I am just like, took so long to get back, and I'm sorry, but yes, welcome. Why are we late? Yes, it's late and a later stream, just because it takes a while to get started. YouTube's thing is very hard to work with. It's very, very hard to work with. Anyway, give me a sec. I'll be back in like a moment. I'm gonna show you the channel trailer. In coffee shops and their sippy cup ass. Piece of shit. I just gotta play along with whatever he says and pretend to laugh, and then he'll go away faster. Oh!
This is fucking capitalism!
Rules for me and not for thee! Damn it! My greed has made me lose more of my money! I only get $120 for that? Dude, just drop porn on the internet instead! Who's this bitch think she is? Yes, because we can all agree to beat to a pulp that disgusting furry thing. Oh my dog, I still need a longer thing, apparently. Don't pay attention to the man behind the curtain. Anyway, God, that was an embarrassing start. Really embarrassing, but yes, I still don't know how to stream on YouTube, and that very much should be known, because, yeah, there really is just literally nothing going on with how this looks and how this is, because holy shit, YouTube makes no sense anymore. I don't know how it works. I don't know how to get this going. It's okay, I thank you. All I could say is hello there, and yes, let's just play some password, because that's apparently what I'm doing at this moment. Because, woof! New look and everything, eh? Yeah, baby. And in case you guys are here from the rest of my channel, when I've done all the password videos, yes, it's taken a long time. I've got a lot of work on my plate. I do want to get more password videos done. But yes, where they're like the puppetry stuff. Yes, I want to make them really cool, so it's taking a while. I have to boil down the scripts, and doing that takes a long time for one reason or another. So yes, let's just have some fun then, because it's been a while. It's been a hacking long time. Continue. Now, if I can remember all the voices. There we go. My eyes settled on the door to the vault. I was curious. Something was drawing me to the room, to the door beyond, and the keypad next to it. First few steps were slow, but soon I was walking over there with purpose, closing the door behind me with a sigh. Oh, jeez, I don't know what to do with this. There you go, baby. If I can type the enter. There you go. There you go, with my feet. No sooner had I hit enter than an angry beat. It shook my head. It's not that, I guess. Yeah, I give up. Backed away from the panel, shooting at one last look over my shoulder on my way out. Maybe it was for the best that I didn't go through another experience like before. Nodding to myself, resolved that it can only be a good thing, I headed back upstairs to meet with the others. Hey, thanks for the ice cream, Manny. Virtual hug. Yes! Virtual hug to you too, princess. By the time I've gotten back, everyone else was mid-conversation about something, not even pausing when I reappeared. Looking around at everyone at the table, I sighed. Everyone accounted for, everyone alive. Still, something bothered me. Was I becoming a nervous wreck? I was expecting the worst, just because it had already happened once? Before I can continue that train of thought, the smell of freshly fried chicken hit, wafting in from the kitchen. Whoa, thanks for the diamond, Tamani. Dang, thank you. And the ice and 2 ice creams. Thanks, Tamani. My eyes widened, eyes darting towards the kitchen as I wiped a small amount of drool from the corner of my mouth. Chicken was, for sure, a weakness of mine. Eggs too. Or maybe it was just anything battered and fried bringing back happy memories. Not that I like my eggs deep fried, it just gives me a good hard-boiled egg and I was happy. That or scrambled eggs was the first thing on a lazy weekend morning. Oh, hey. Geez, these guys' voices are so similar in my head. I need to separate that. I need to fix that. Hope everyone's hungry. We admit a lot. Well, maybe too much. For that, I'm sorry. Haas and Sel brought up our platters of chicken, seemingly already cut into their strips. Guess they hadn't fried drumsticks, and they both had fried drumsticks, and went with something closer to chicken nuggets, but, well, fancier? I looked at Tyson and Orlando. Tyson's eyes were bulging, and he was visibly drooling. He liked fried chicken as much as I did, and he rarely got it. Orlando, I don't know how he was feeling. Maybe a combination of surprise and fear? It was a hard expression to place.
That is a lot of chicken.
Oh man, what was your voice? Holy crap, I'm sorry, I need to get reacclimated to all this. This has been a while. But yeah, thanks. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome, princess. Hope you guys had a great, month? By the way, I didn't even get to tell you guys what exactly happened, so let me take a moment as I try and remember his voice, because yes, wow, geez. So, just to go on a bit about what happened last month, I was having a lot of computer issues. Both of my computers, both of them, were completely broken, and I don't know why. But I found out that my issue was tied to the reset button of one of my PCs. So yes, I ended up getting a second PC in the process of this. I had enough spare parts lying around, so it wasn't too expensive. But yeah, I don't know, the setup now is different, weird, it's new, strange. But yeah, this is the report from Rad Dude and why I was gone for actually a full, well, more than a month, let's be honest. The reason why I was gone for almost 2 months is just because I think the best way to describe the last few weeks. Anyway, back to it. Not that I mind, but didn't we have anything else to go with it, or just chicken? Yeah, what Orlando said.
Vegetables, rice, sauce even. Fries count as vegetables, right? But pumpkin. We carved a whole pumpkin today. Why are we using that? Does pumpkin even go with fried chicken?
Why didn't you make pumpkin pie, you lunatics?
But yeah, we gotta need sauce to go with this.
Depends. Hot sauce, barbecue.
I do either.
But Ty, the last time...
Yeah, I remember the last time.
Should I be concerned?
Nope.
So long as we have water on standby, we should be alright. Dinner was great. I didn't know Sal could cook. All things considered, I'd assumed that he couldn't cook at all, given he was asking Orlando for lessons. But maybe he was just a fast learner? I've been gnawing at the same piece of fried chicken for a couple of minutes, lost in thought before I caught a glimpse of a certain someone who was giving me a smug grin from nearby.
Dave, your nose is all scrunched up again.
Oh, is it? I swallowed, wiping my mouth before laughing to myself.
So what's on your mind?
Nothing important. Looking around the table, I thought back. Was someone at the table really behind the death of one of my friends? I was conscious of how much I was frowning now, but I couldn't shake the feeling. Even when my eyes settled back onto Roswell.
Well, hey, I guess things never change, huh? You zone out, your mind goes a mile a minute mid-conversation still.
Sorry. But maybe I'm just tired from carving the pumpkin?
Sure, that's all it is. You're not worried about something haunting you like Orlando it's been, right?
No, not that. I just, I guess something equally silly.
Cute, but if you need to talk things out, feel free to grab me.
I nodded to Roswell as he took his plate to the kitchen, seemingly done with dinner, pulling out my phone to see how late it was getting. I remembered what Oz had told me this morning. 11 p.m. in the library. After I'd cleaned up after dinner, I wandered to the foyer. I didn't know what was left to do until the time to meet with Oz. I'd already showered, but maybe I should again? I should try asking someone for just cologne or something. Hey, Quasar78, nice to see you. Yeah. Welcome to this weird new stream. There's a little bit of strangeness going on, but hopefully not too much. Boop, boop, boop. Let me make sure I can see all you beautiful people's comments over here. There we go, it's much better. There we are, perfection. What was the dress code for meeting an unknown someone in their own house when they could be either an ally wanting to stop a murder or just the murderer themselves? I had no idea who this Oz person even was. And thanks for the ice cream, Quasar.
What are you doing?
Oh, Ty! I sighed out, having spooked myself enough to be on the verge of crying out.
Do we need to take you to my room again so you can zone out without looking like a dork?
No, I'll be okay. I'm just thinking stuff. Speaking of, how did you pull up after today?
Fine. Got my thinking done for the last day at least.
And?
I'll tell you if I feel like it later.
Oh, alright.
What are you doing tonight?
Probably going to get an early dinner. I'm still tired from, well, earlier?
That's where you get perfect doing it. But I get that. I was thinking the same.
I nodded slowly, rubbing my eyes as if I had convinced myself I was legitimately tired and that was all.
Well, I'll see you in the morning, pup.
Tyson patted me on the head, going to say something else, but holding back, quickly turning and jogging towards the stairs. Ah! Ty, wait!
Oh, what? You, what?
If I can't sleep tonight, can I come see you?
I'd rather you didn't, but if you can't sleep, then I'll make an exception.
Sorry, I shouldn't have asked. Don't worry about it. My gaze found the floor, shifting back up as I heard Ty get closer again. He clapped me quickly on the shoulder before tussling the fur atop my head.
You're such a dork, but...
Ty looked away again, resolving himself to say something, it seemed.
Soon, if you want, you can.
Wait, really?
I make no promises, but it wouldn't be the first time we shared a bed. Just try to avoid tonight if you can, yeah. I'm flattered, but maybe try teeing first. Never thought I'd say that, but whatever.
Okay? You'll
be alright. I'm going to bed. Night.
I watched as Ty wandered away, not looking back as I was waiting in the foyer. The house seemed quiet as I remained there, just looking around. I was half tempted to call it to Benson to see if he was around, but there was no telling where he was given how scared he'd been. There was every chance that he'd only been around to get us settled before being sent on vacation, right? Even then, what about Oz? He was still around somewhere, right? I made my way back to my room eventually, sprawling out in my bed, staring at the ceiling. Okay. 11 p.m., library. Checking on my phone again, I saw that it only read 9 p.m. I sighed and set an alarm for 10 p.m. just in case. After all, the walk there wasn't all that far, and maybe I could do with a small power nap. Despite closing my eyes, though, sleep didn't come. Thoughts raced in my head as to what Oz wanted to talk about, or needed to say in person. Did I have enough questions ready for him? What if I forgot to ask? For a moment, I felt sick to my stomach, but it soon passed when I realized there wasn't anything more I could do about it. Anyone else in the same situation would be facing the same problems. Feeling that, I'd back up in the form of my friends. I could run or call for help, and someone would come running, right? Before I knew it, my alarm went off. I wasn't sure if I fell asleep proper or just had zoned out again, but I got up all the same. Hey, Chase Hinkinson. How you doing? Awesome voice, bro. Hey, thanks, Princess. I appreciate that. But yes, Chase, hope you're doing well. And just to touch base for a bit, my computer was broken for like a month, like the entire month of October almost. And I finally got it working. Ended up getting 2 PCs in the process. The reason why my PC was broken in the first place was the reset button was glitchy. It just kept resetting the PC. Really not that expensive of a trick, of a fix at all, but yeah. Ended up with 2 PCs anyway. Woof boy. But yeah. Let's get back to it. Before I knew it, my alarm went off. I wasn't sure if I fell asleep at all or if I just zoned out, but I got up all the same. The house was dark and quiet. Or quiet enough that I could hear the background noise of, well, something. I heard the same thing before, but I couldn't quite place when or where. I stepped into the museum, looking toward checking my phone. It seemed early, by a good 40 minutes. I reached for my flashlight, but realized soon after that I hadn't brought it, opting instead to use the light of my phone to look around. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary, and I was most certainly the only one here. I did a lap of the room, looking at the various things to tick down the time. It all seemed unthreateningly shy of a suit of armor with a literal sword on display. Still, the blade seemed dulled and bolted in place, so for the most part it was harmless. I settled on a spot on the floor, sitting cross-legged while looking around the room, with my phone shining light wherever it could feasibly reach. Minutes ticked down until I heard a sound from somewhere nearby. My eyes darted to my phone and my heart sank upon saying there was still half an hour left before the designated meeting time. It was getting late, and the lack of sleep was catching up to me. I told myself I'd just rest my eyes and must have fallen asleep proper. Until I heard something. I scrambled for my phone and saw the time. It was late. I'd somehow missed the meeting despite being in the room it was meant to take place in. My phone was dying, and then promptly died the moment after, having been on seemingly for the whole time I was asleep. Groggily I got to my feet, half disappointed, half annoyed that whatever meeting Oz had agreed to hadn't come to eventuate. I plugged my phone into charge and collapsed soon after. I think I know what happened with our friend. Okay, so there was a password input the morning of. I think I know what happened there. I think we're gonna have to keep an eye out for a password. And it's gonna be very, very dumb. And I remembered this guy's voice. Oh no.
Hey, Dave, wake up, please!
It was sudden, and I was being shaken by the shoulders by Orlando, who had tears streaming down his face. Hey, Orlando, what's wrong?
Something bad happened.
My mind began to race, trying to place what could have happened. I immediately feared the worst and pushed it back down in the hopes that I was just still tired after the day before. It's okay, just tell me what happened. Orlando's breathing was all over the place, but he nodded and tried bringing himself under control.
I got up this morning, I couldn't sleep and I went to the dining room and...
His crying started up again, and I took the chance to see just how early it was. Early enough that even Sal wouldn't be up this early. Explaining why it was still so dark, too. It was well before dawn. Should I go see what's in the dining room?
Yeah, I think so, but you're not gonna like it at all.
Oh, is it bad?
I don't... Very bad, Dave. Very bad.
Orlando wandered over to my bedroom door, looking angsty. There was no avoiding it. At some point, I was going to have to go to the dining room for whatever reason Orlando decided to come and grab me instead of, well, anyone else. The two of us made our way downstairs, Orlando lingering behind me as we headed towards the dining room. Just before the door, I reached out for the handle, shooting the dragon next to me as I took the door. With a quick nod from him to indicate something, I faced the door again, gulping. Whatever had set Orlando off like this wasn't going to be pretty. I opened the door and took a step forward, with Orlando lingering by the entrance. Apparently whatever happened spooked him enough that he didn't want to get closer than necessary. It didn't take long before I could smell it, though. The overbearing scent of iron and the faintest whiff of gunpowder. I froze, my heart catching my chest. Somehow I was able to edge closer, taking it step by step. Nothing prepared me for what I saw when I rounded the edge of the table closest to the kitchen. Whether the tablecloth is something that was the cause of how I didn't see it from the entrance, I didn't know. But the moment I saw it, I yelled. My eyes were glued to the scene before me on the floor. I heard Orlando scurry off while he took everything in before me. He'd been so scarce the past few days. It was almost as if he literally disappeared. For him to show up here like this was almost a grim reminder that whoever had done this hadn't forgotten he was around. My eyes settled on the gun in his hand, and I began to breathe hard and fast. I backed up until I was against the wall, staring hyper-focused at the body before me. Was it better that this wasn't one of my friends, or worse, because the chances of being the culprit had skyrocketed? I could hear the others pile in, catching Orlando, asking someone else what they should do in case someone was committing suicide. I think it was Haas that was trying to calmly explain what he could despite the tones of panic in his voice, too. Dean and Tyson were eyeing each other, having both rushed over to me to make sure I was okay.
Duh.
I fucking knew it.
Before I could ask further, Tyson made a break for it, diving for Benson's body and hand reaching out to the gun on the floor. Dean must have feared the worst, following suit.
I knew I couldn't trust you, Bear, stashing a gun just so you could fucking kill someone with it.
Not but me, rich coming from you, Mott. Only one pack and he here would be you, and I'd be damned if you think you could do anyone else in with it too.
My eyes were glued to the gun in their hands. Them reaching just fist over fist to have control over it. Shakily, my hands made for my head and gripped what fur I could tight. No one else seemed to be saying anything. I know I wanted to, but I was so scared. I was paralyzed in fear. They bickered back and forth, the gun waving wildly above them and between them until it slipped from their grasp. I watched it fall in slow motion. The only sound I could make out was my own breathing until everything else was broken by the sound of it misfiring. My breath had caught in my chest. As my hands scrambled over my body, expecting to feel a patch of wetness or a hole or even a burning sensation. I let out a sigh of relief. I looked to the others, a smile starting to form, but it died soon after. My mouth hung open, head shaking gently from side to side, denying what I'd just seen. Orlando was in shock, as Sal, who was hurriedly trying to do something about the wound in the dragon's chest. My mind began to swim, having been thrown for a loop multiple times in quick succession.
Sal, I don't... Why is it so cold now?
Hold on. Please, hold on. I won't let you die. Hoss was running out of the room into the foyer. I don't know why. Dean and Tyson were still at each other's throats, but I couldn't hear what they were saying. Sal was tending to Orlando, trying to stop his bleeding with what little he could work with. Orlando seemed to be hanging off every word he said, trying to stay conscious. Then there was Roswell, who had wandered on over, seemingly in the same state as me, stopping just before Benson's body and looking down upon it. I pushed myself off the wall to stand, wandering over to Roswell.
This doesn't make sense.
It was almost like a mantra with how he seemed to repeat the line over and over, almost trying to piece together why. Looking at Benson's body, I can only agree. Something was off about it. Something that seemed so obvious, but it was just barely out of reach. At some point, the police and the paramedics arrived, taking Orlando away. We were questioned, but they let each of us go. We found our own ways home from there, but what happened created a rift in the group that bred distrust as to who did what and where the blame should be flung. I blamed myself and my inability to keep things under control. Thankfully, no one else did. A week later, I was at the hospital with flowers. Dean helped me pick some out, and with some careful planning, I was able to find a time to come visit when Orlando's family wasn't around. Various dragons in suits seemed to loiter around the place, and there was an air of oppression that lingered in the air that they were stationed. Sal had given me the room number he was in, so thankfully I knew where to go and I could make a beeline there instead of having to stop by the reception. Funnily enough, despite the state of things, inside the room Orlando was sitting in a chair by the window, enjoying some sun while he played on a handheld gaming device. Just seeing him alive and, well, set my mind at ease. I'd assumed that he'd be in bed unconscious or something, but no, there he was, as if nothing had happened. Shy of the bandages wrapped around his front, of course. Hey, Orlando, how are you feeling?
Oh, Dave, it's good to see you.
I set the flowers down on the table nearby and wandered over to take the other chair next to Orlando.
Doing okay. The doctors reckon that I got real lucky.
Was the wound bad? I'm sorry, I couldn't... I didn't help.
Nah, don't be silly. I was convinced I was gonna die when it happened. Still talking me up to the paramedics, well, that helped. Apparently that's an important thing. Your body can go into shock if it thinks you're gonna die. It just gives up.
I hung my head, ashamed. I'm sorry I took so long to come to visit, but I brought flowers.
Oh, they're lovely. Why, thank you so much.
And I'm sorry you got He's doubled down on some sleeping medication being taken. Didn't sleep for a few days after it happened.
Wow, poor guy. But so long as he's getting sleep now, it's fine, right?
I nodded slowly, waiting to see if he had anything else he wanted to say, but when he didn't, I continued. Tyson, he's around, still. He's been staying with me. Something about not wanting to go back to his, and also wanted to make sure I wasn't too beaten up about, you know.
It's not his fault either. It hurt, sure, but...
But?
Well, I wish that, well, it didn't happen for starters. But I guess more importantly that I could tell him that in person. Him and Dean, really. Maybe in a week when I'm discharged so we can have lunch together. Something quiet, so just to settle everything.
That sounds good. I'll let them know and try and organize something. Maybe a picnic.
Yeah, there you go. A picnic sounds great.
I drummed my fingers on my knees, not really sure what I should be saying next. I still feel bad about what happened despite Orlando telling me that it wasn't my fault.
You know, this past week, I've been wondering something.
What's that?
If you had a do-over, what would you do differently?
Jeez, Orlando, I don't think...
Humor me.
Well, I'd probably try and stop you getting shot for starters.
Okay, but now,
I don't know.
I think we're just missing something major in the group dynamic at that critical point is all. Maybe not necessarily a tank or something, but... Hey, how do I want to phrase it?
Orlando tapped his chin, stroked his beard, turned to look out the window before continuing his thought.
Maybe, if we had someone that could arbitrate between Dean and Tyson.
Don't I do that already?
You do, but, I mean, at that point, you would have really needed to put your foot down. Or interject enough that they'd stop. I imagine they both listen to you if you made a demand.
Demands are bad enough, though.
True, but how often do you, of all people, demand something? You'd be more willing to comply if you spoke up with enough gusto, I think.
I'm not like my dad, Orlando. I wish I was, but he was just... I sighed out, falling further down the hole of shame I was digging for myself for being so... inadequate.
Now, I'll have none of that. You'll have the makings of a great peacekeeper in your own way, and you don't need to be a cop for that.
Do you really think so?
Yeah, I do. Maybe it's something to consider just in case something like this happens again. Not that I'm volunteering to get shot again, but still.
I nodded slowly, chuckling slightly. Looking out the window now, too. A peacekeeper, huh? The idea stuck with me, but I couldn't place why. Peacekeeper. New password, guys. Peacekeeper. Wait. Aw. Aw. I want to do something. I guess I can't. What the heck? Oh. I got a buddy! A drinking buddy! Literally. So remember, Peacekeeper! 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 Yeah, I need to remember Peacekeeper. Put the bottle down now, though.
To think, he committed suicide right there for us to find him, right?
I wasn't convinced either way, but last I heard it was ruled as such. Honestly, I was just thankful that Dean and Tyson weren't getting thrown in jail for injuring Orlando. But with Benson's suicide calling an end to our vacation things, it just became odd. Oswald got really sick and had to be admitted to the hospital. After I was done visiting Orlando, I was going to pay him a visit too. Dean, despite everything that had happened, asked me out proper. Given the circumstances, I took him up on it and we're together. At least as a trial basis. Tyson said he didn't mind, but left one day saying he needed to sort some things out. Sal stuck around too, ended up moving in with Haas. The pair, well, they seem to be doing alright. Keep mostly to themselves, but they check in every now and again. Orlando moved in with them and he was cleared from the hospital. What the heck is this? I was sitting outside waiting for Dean to get back from work with a glass of lemonade for the last hour. The weather was nice and it was date night, so why not just wait for my bear to get home and enjoy some sun? Pulled up my phone to check the time. He was late. Sometimes traffic was just, terrible, but this is getting a bit odd. Rule was that if he wouldn't check his phone while driving anyway, so even if I tried to call or send him a message, he wouldn't be checking it until he pulled up. I was about to put it away, mid-sigh, when it went off in my hand, causing me to jump and spill some of my lemonade on my shirt. Cold, cold, cold. Sitting the glass down and brushing off the moisture I could before it could seep into the fabric, I looked at who was calling. I didn't recognize the number, so I ignored it under the assumption that if it was important, they'd leave a message. Stopped ringing. Guess it wasn't that important after. And then it started again. This time it was Haas calling. Looked out to the door quickly to see if Dean was pulling up before answering. Hi Haas, what's up? Dave? His tone was serious. He sounded out of breath, and I could hear something in the background, almost like a siren. I need you to stay calm. I need to know if you're able to meet me somewhere. Is everything okay? Next moment I was standing, abandoning my lemonade to wander to the fence and look out at the street. Not that I knew what I was looking for, but I did so anyway. No, it's not. There's... I felt my chest tighten, dreading the worst given Dean's lateness. Is Dean? Huh? No, sorry, you first. Look, maybe I should just... There was the sound of the phone being handed off to someone else before a familiar voice came through the other side.
Hey, handsome.
Dean! What's going on? Why are you with Haas? Why are you late?
So about that, I want you to sit down and stay calm, okay?
I did as he said, sitting down on the grass rather than wandering back to the steps leading up to the front door. Okay, I'm sitting.
Okay, I'm gonna come get you in a bit, but...
Dean?
Orlando's dead, Dave.
I almost dropped the phone in shock. What? How? What? Why? When?
Just hang tight. I'll come pick you up and explain.
What the heck? He's dead? But that wasn't the worst of it. When Dean picked me up, I bombarded him with questions. He didn't answer at first, seemingly steeling himself before delivering more bad news. It wasn't just Orlando. Roswell had been killed as well. Sal was a wreck, having been shot as well, but only nicked in the shoulder. Given how big he was, it was a wonder the gunman missed as he did. By sheer chance, Dean was driving by Haas's house when it happened. Roswell, Orlando, Haas, and Sal were all just in their front yard as a car pulled up and fired at them. A car? Haas came to stay with Dean and I, and Sal joined with us just so they weren't near the scene of the two dead friends. My face had been rattled. The last conversation I had with Orlando in the hospital was just ringing through my mind. Was there anything I could have just done differently? Dean tried his best to help the police track the car from the license plate, but the investigation went cold. Not to mention the streets became more dangerous soon after. You could see it wherever we went to the store. There were less police and more dragons in suits just loitering around the place. Out of the corner of the world, our corner of the world went dark. Something went wrong, and there wasn't anything we could do about it. What the heck? Bad End Benson. Whoa. What is that? Wait, what's going on?
So wait, I don't get it. I'm Peoria.
Okay, what the fuck? Who are you? I don't understand.
Well, I just want to understand what happened to everything. Could you please tell me?
That's kind of a hard thing, Beery. All I can say is that, apparently Benson's some sort of, this seems to be a Men in Black situation.
A Men in Black situation?
Yes, Men in Black, apparently he was, this weird butler person was trying to protect everyone, and I don't know why that hinged on us going to, a mansion, but I guess we'll see later. Okay. Yeah. Oh, rip the entire cast, apparently. Yes, apparently, Toaster Mitts. And yes, set up the room now. Wow, you got here really late, but yes, set up the room. Jeez, definitely set up that room and message it in the Discord.
Well, Scribblio is coming up soon, guys. Woohoo!
Alright, get down there, Beery. No one cares. No one actually cares about your introduction. Stay there. Stay there in the ground. Woo! There you go. Bad End Benson, jeez. So, I'm thinking it's going to be Peacekeeper. That's what I'm going to use for the next password. Let's do that very quick. Wait. Wait. Go up. I need to go back to the password. This is cool that I can just do this. Oh, I can't go back farther. What? Oh no. Okay, wait. Let's reload. Sure. No. Load. Yes. Now let's go to skip. Yes! Peacekeeper! It ended very well. It ended very well. Alright. Let me just type in Peacekeeper. Peacekeeper. Wow! We did it! Oh my god, we did it, guys! Woo!
So that time it was kind of less obvious, but at least it had a second dialogue box, so you're gonna remember that.
Beery, get down there! I told you no one cares, Beery! Alright, stay there, Beery. I'm not ready to get drunk yet. Felt the wind knocked out of me and I doubled over, vision blurring until there was just nothing but black. I could hear it, as if it were happening right next to me. The ragged intake of air of someone in pain. Oh god, what? What I saw caused immediate alarm. I wanted to scream, but nothing came out. My hands went for my head to grab at it, trying to claw out whatever I'd seen, but they never made contact. Orlando had been shot, but by who? When? Was he going to be okay? He looked alive, so maybe there was a way to save him, even if this did happen. When I came to, I was on my back, staring at the ceiling. My head was pounding. My vision was still coming into focus, and my hand scrambled up to my front in an effort to make sure everything was all right. Laying there for a bit helped, letting me get my breathing back and under control. Tiredness washed over me, and I wondered both how I ended up on the floor and how long I'd be down here for. It was dark down here now, as if someone had shut off the lights, assuming no one was coming down here. No sign of Tyson or anyone else. But if that was the case, then did they not know I was going to be down here? By the time I'd gone back upstairs, I could hear the others chatting in the dining room, their voices echoing out from the dining room. I looked into the foyer upstairs, wondering if what I'd seen could be avoided. You've done it once before, right? Thanks, Max. By the time I'd gotten back, everyone else was in mid-conversation about, well, something, not even pausing when I reappeared. Looking around at everyone at the table, I sighed. Everyone accounted for. Everyone alive. Still. Was it going to stay that way? I thought about what I'd seen, and what happened last time was any indication. Now's the time to consider keeping a closer eye on people, or maybe just warn them to make sure that nothing bad happened? Before I can continue my train of thought, the smell of freshly fried chicken hit, wafting in from the kitchen. My eyes widened, eyes darting towards the kitchen as I wiped a small amount of drool coming from the corner of my mouth. Chicken was for sure a weakness of mine. Eggs too, or maybe it was just that old memory of nice, hot, frattered chicken and stuff. So delicious. Smells so good.
Hey Dave, are you really gonna eat all that fried chicken?
You know I'm gonna stuff all that fried chicken in my mouth, don't you know?
Well, I would do the same thing too. I mean, wait, what did we do all that pumpkin carving for later?
I don't know, who cares? I'm gonna go up and do, something. What was the dress code for meeting an unknown person in their house when they could either be an ally or a murderer wanting to kill us? Who knows?
Oh, what are you doing?
You know I'm just tired. Can I sleep in your bed with you?
Why?
Because I kinda just... I'm tired and scared things might go bad tonight.
Nah, try team first.
Fine. I watched as Ty walked upstairs and didn't even look back at me. The house seemed quiet as I remained here. Looking around, I was half tempted to call up Benson to see if he was around, but there was no telling where he was, given how scarce he'd been. There was every chance that he'd only been around to get us settled before being on vacation, right? That'd suck if so. Even then, what about Oz? He was still around somewhere, right? I made my way back to my room eventually, sprawling out in my bed, staring at the ceiling. Oh, 11 p.m. Library. Checking my phone again, I read that it was only 9 p.m. I sighed and was just like, fine. Oh, crap, I wasted too much time. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary, and I was most certainly the only one here. I did a lap of the room, looking at the various things to tick down the time. It all seemed unthreatening. Yeah, that's except for a suit of armor, but its little sword was kind of like bolted down, so it's not going to hurt anyone. Minutes ticked down until I heard sound from somewhere nearby. I started to my phone, and my heart sank upon seeing there was still half an hour left before the designated meeting time. It was getting late, and the lack of sleep was catching up to me. I told myself that I'd just rest my eyes, and must have just fallen asleep proper. I heard something. I scrambled for my phone and saw the time. Midnight. Somehow missed the meeting time despite being in the room I was meant to take place in. My phone was dying, and then promptly died a moment after. I had been on for seemingly the whole time I was asleep. I rapidly got to my feet, half disappointed, half annoyed that whatever meeting Oz had agreed to hadn't come to eventuate. I decided to just go down to my bed and fall asleep, because screw it, I guess.
Dave, please, you gotta wake up.
Wait, what, why? What's going on?
Something bad happened. You just gotta follow me.
Okay, fine, Orlando. Also, is there something in your voice? You sound kind of weird.
I think so, but
You should probably take some water for that, dude. What's going on with your voice? I totally forgot his voice. The two of us made our way downstairs, Orlando lingering behind me as we headed towards the dining room. Just before the door, I reached out for the handle, shooting the dragon next to me one last look. With a quick nod from him to indicate something, I was facing the door, gulping. Whatever set Orlando off like this wasn't going to be pretty. I opened the door and took a step forward, with Orlando lingering by the entrance. Apparently whatever had happened spooked him enough that he didn't want to get closer than necessary. It didn't take long before I could smell it, though, the overbearing scent of iron and the faintest whiff of gunpowder. I froze, a heart catching in my chest. Somehow I was able to edge closer, taking it step by step. Nothing prepared me for what I saw when I rounded the edge of the table closest to the kitchen. Whether the tablecloth of something was the cause of how I didn't see it from the entrance, I didn't know. But the moment I saw it, I yelled. Ah! My eyes glued to the thing before me on the floor. I heard Orlando scurry off while I took everything in before me. He'd been so scarce the past few days. It was almost as if he'd literally disappeared. For him to show up here like this? It was almost a grim reminder that whoever had done this hadn't forgotten he was around. My eyes settled on the gun in his hand and began to breathe hard and fast. I backed up until I was against the wall, still staring, hyper-focused on the body before me. Was it better that this wasn't one of my friends, or worse because the chances of them being the culprit had skyrocketed? I could hear the others pile in, catching Orlando asking someone else what they could do in the case of someone committing suicide. I think it was Haas that was trying to calmly explain what he could despite the tones of panic in his voice too. Dean and Tyson were eyeing each other off, having both rushed over to me to make sure I was okay. I wasn't paying attention to either of them. I was focused on the gun. Orlando got shot. Was it about to happen? Was this the point I had to step in? There was no point risking it. If I didn't get there first, who knows what could happen? I shoved Dean and Tyne aside. Move! Only probably doing so because I'd been caught off guard. Scrambling forward, I got to Benson's body and soon slipped, falling onto my butt just shy of landing in his blood. But looking at it made me pale. I began to panic before realizing what I'd done and why I'd done it. Shutting my eyes, I spun around, voice crackling as I called out to the others. Guys? Help!
Oh, right. Dean, I'll be out here.
Yeah, sure.
I felt both of them pulled me away until I was propped against the wall, Tyson gently patting my head.
You're good.
Better, but...
Yeah, alright.
Can someone explain what just happened?
You reckon you'd be alright getting close to a body like that? Come on, bud, breathe for me.
I nodded quickly, covering my eyes. Dean added a hand to my shoulder as Ty continued to stroke my head. When I opened my eyes, I could see Orlando having an equally hard time processing what was going on, hyperventilating with his head resting against Sal's chest. Everything all right over here? What? I looked up to Haas as he looked over to where Benson lay on the ground dead. Oh. Haas lingered back while Roswell stepped forward, almost steeling himself for what he was looking at. How are you keeping your cool like this? Roswell shook his head, eyes narrowing as he continued to look before he backed up.
Okay. We have a problem.
You're kidding, right? Roswell, he's fucking dead. I hadn't heard Haas swear before. Typically, he tried to keep that stuff, well...
I could see that, Haas. But the problem is much bigger than that, much bigger.
I got up, bracing myself against Tyson, who was lingering nearby. Well, what, Roswell, what's the problem? Sal wandered over, guiding Orlando over by the hand until we were all just standing somewhat in a circle.
This was murder.
But he shot himself, didn't he?
Dave, if you hadn't, it's not suicide. You noticed? I did. Oh, okay, everyone. One of us killed Benson.
What are you guys talking about? We looked around at each other, sizing each other up. Even Tyson, who I'd been supporting myself against, had taken a step back to give me some space. Are you sure? I can confirm that. Not only that, someone's messed with the crime scene. What? How? What? Why? I don't...
Hey, it's the wound, right?
Well, maybe.
That wound, think about it. Think about the hand he's holding the gun in, and... You know, right?
Oh, damn, you're right. Is that what you noticed, Dean?
Yeah, I did.
What I noticed. That gun, way too powerful to cause a wound like that. He'd have just blown a lot more of his head off using something like that. Not just that, but reckon he could have used a gun that big, even his size? I felt my stomach lurch, and I had to support myself on my knees without falling over. What, so one of us?
Killed Benson.
And then changed the crime scene. What I don't get is why.
What do you mean?
If Benson used a gun to kill himself, you wouldn't want to change the crime scene at all now, would you?
No, right, that's fair.
So, if it's murder, why not still use the same gun? Why change guns?
I hadn't thought about that.
I looked at the gun again, then immediately to Sal, who seemed to be the only one big enough to handle something like that. With how he was still rubbing Orlando's back, it was hard to throw an accusation that way. Next up was Dean, though. I guess I could have handled a gun... Could he have handled a gun like that? He caught me looking at him and looked away just as quickly. He noticed, frowning.
So that's it. One of us is just the murderer.
The comment hung in the air before I realized that maybe there was another option. The moment I'd started speaking, all eyes were on me. I had a choice to make. I had no proof and no evidence of the fact, but But there was potentially one other person in the house that we hadn't considered. One person that we hadn't seen, and that as far as I was aware, only Benson and I knew about. Ooh. Dude. Dude. Let's save here. We have to save. Save. And then right here. There we go. And how? yes. Okay, I have to press the escape button on the keyboard. The keyboard's down here. There you go. Sorry, I make things really difficult for myself here. Oops, apparently. I think I'm gonna reveal Oz. Okay, reveal Oz or not to reveal Oz? That is the question. Does this even work? Now I'm curious. Wait, I don't think I can. Oh wow, okay. I was gonna see if I could post something to both both channels at once, but yes, I think I'll just reveal Oz. That's what I'm thinking on doing. If you guys disagree with that, we can always go back and make the other choice. Reveal Oz. I breathe in one more. Putting on my best brave face, believing that there was someone else that could have done it. And if they did, it meant all of my friends were innocent. Something I could throw my weight behind as far as what I wanted to believe. There's someone else that could have done it.
Someone else.
Yeah, but Dave, we're all here. Who else could it possibly be?
Someone else. Another butler. A maid.
Yeah, but we haven't seen anything like that, have we?
Chase us, don't reveal. Okay, good to know. Good to know. I can kind of see that. I can kind of see that. We might go back and do that.
I sure as hell haven't.
I looked to Haas, seemed to have his phone out, poised to dial a number but holding off to listen. No one here did it, right? I'll believe if you tell me. I just want to hear you say it. In turn, each of us said that we didn't do it, almost vowing to one another that we were innocent. After Orlando had gone last, finishing off the claims of innocence, I nodded. Then see? There you go. None of us did it. It can only be Oz. Oz? You mean like the wizard?
Wait, no, let's back up a little bit here. There's actually another person here.
That'd make 9 people in the mansion, right? But we haven't seen anyone else, right?
It seemed unlikely that Oz would kill his own butler, especially after claiming that he was going to be more of an ally, but who else could it be?
The fuck, Dave? Why'd you keep this from us?
I don't know.
Well, who is he then?
He's the one that owns the house, I think. How do you not know that? You must have spoken to them or to Benson about this person, right? Sure, we spoke, but...
When? Where?
In my room, night before last?
Seriously? You're going to invite others into your room?
Shut it, Bear. But we better stop talking.
So I recounted to the group as to what had happened, how I'd used the vault and then spoken via the radio planted in my room to someone claiming to be Oz. I told him how I was told to meet Oz in the library last night to talk in person, but he never showed up. I'm sorry for not telling you. You should have told us that there was someone else here. Who knows what they could be up to? I'm sorry. I'm going to call it in, though.
What should we do? Should we go looking for this Oz person?
Potentially, it wouldn't hurt, right?
If the police are on their way, it'd be faster to split up to search everywhere, in case they try and make a break for it.
They may have already left.
Good point. So we're just meant to wait?
Yep.
What do you mean, yep?
You can go off looking if you want. I'm staying right here until the cops arrive. Now I'm getting pegged for this by wandering around.
Dean stormed off, leaving the same way Haas did, presumably to go see what he was doing. I wasn't really paying attention. What should I do, Ty?
Stick with me. You have to keep out of trouble.
Dave will be fine.
And I'm gonna keep it that way.
Russell grumbled for a while before he wandered off too, in the same direction as Dean and Haas.
Can we maybe wait in the foyer? I don't really want to be standing around a corpse.
Oh, yeah, me neither. Tyson and I watch this room if you want. You two stick together. Wait, really?
Go on, Pup. Stick with Orlando.
I nodded and followed Orlando out to the foyer, looking around and feeling, well, odd. Uneasy about the place that wasn't just there before. Orlando?
Yeah?
No one did it, right?
I wish I knew. Still.
Orlando trailed off there, thoughtful, but he didn't continue. As we sat in the foyer, Orlando fidgeted, eyes looking over to the staircase.
Hey, Dave, you think we can go check something out?
He barely waited for me to nod before he guided me forward. Down to the basement. And into the room with the vault door.
This is what I wanted to check.
What did you want to check?
I was down in yesterday morning with us. We had some things to talk about. More importantly, something was bothering me since then about, well, the room itself.
Orlando began to pace, checking things and frowning. What are you looking for?
I just expected there to be more here, right?
Something more than, what, a keypad and a door?
Maybe, okay, let me put it this way. This room is concrete, right? Floors, walls, and ceiling. The exception being the doors and the keypad.
Right.
So how does it work? If it was paneled walls or floorboards, I'd expect a trapdoor or some sort of, I don't know.
For someone to come out of? I just thought the keypad worked like, press buttons, beep boop, hooray, you did it.
Look, if it was that simple, but I'd like that. Just trust me, I get the impression it's a lot more than just a big door guarding treasure. You said it before, how you use this thing, but how did it give you a vision, if anything? Lights? Sound? Some sort of aerosol? I'm sorry, I'm probably being silly, but I need to check it out one last time before the police arrive. I doubt I'd get another chance otherwise.
Oh, okay, but what now? Back upstairs?
Yeah, I think so. Who knows how long we've got to wait until the police arrive, right?
Wanda and I head back upstairs, looking to meet back up with Tyson and Sal. Oh, you three! I thought you'd be outside. Oh.
We were. We came back in before giving the place a look around for anyone else that might be here. But nothing. We couldn't find anyone else, not even a trace of them. Not that we really knew what we were looking for, but still.
Well, okay. What were you two doing downstairs? Just checking out the vault, seeing if there's anything that might be a clue or just, well, anything, really. And? Nothing, sorry. Huh. Well, I did have a question for you, Dave. What's that? This Oz fellow we spoke about. It occurred to me when we were looking around that it could have just been one of us, right? What? The realization hit me suddenly, with how Oz spoke. I just assumed that it was some extra person rather than some one of my friends. But that would mean that they own this place, right? Or is it able to tell a lie about a bunch of things that made no sense? But then there was things that were installed in my room. Let's say Oz is the owner of the house and Benson is, well, what's their butler, right?
Right.
Well, one option is he killed his own butler and tried to implicate us. Another option is that one of us did and tried to peg it on someone else.
Wait, I don't think I like what you're insinuating.
If this Oz person was Benson's boss, who's to say they wouldn't want revenge on the person that did it? But that's if he didn't do it himself though, right? I'm sorry, Dave, but there's no sign of this person you claim to have spoken to at all. No trace, no sign, nothing. So let me rephrase the question. Are you Oz, Dave?
Wait, me?
Well, all things considered, the only one that knew about this person was you, right? If you wanted, I'm sure you could have spun a yarn about some ninth person here as a cover. But why would I kill Benson? That'd be...
Betrayal. Betrayal of the highest order.
But why me? I looked back to Orlando, who had until this point stayed quiet, having moved to massage my shoulders in an attempt to keep me under control. I didn't. There's no evidence pointing to you that did it. Not that I can tell anyway, so I think you're in the clear.
But why kill Benson? Was he gonna kill one of us? Was he guilty of some? It's hard to say, but I get the impression that this was an act of betrayal. He seemed so nice and just...
Rosal finished his thought off with a sigh.
Ugh. I guess there's something else we can do. The police will be here soon, but I think we're done.
Done?
Done.
Haas and Dean wandered off, and I was about to follow them before I realized Roswell was just glued to the spot, deep in thought. Roswell? Nothing. No indication that he'd heard me. You're right! Betrayal! Betrayal is the next one, but wait, I didn't input another code, though. Let's write down betrayal anyway. Hold up. Beery, I need you to remember something, if I can actually get you up here. Beery, get your ass up! Beery! It's so hard to get Beery up here. Okay, who cares? Okay, so betrayal. I'll write it. There you go. And now just stay down there, Barry. No one wants it still, apparently. Alright, cool. Bye, Barry. It's really hard to get him out here. I think he's just drunk. He's just drunk and he can't move. Nothing. No indication that he'd even heard me. His brow just furrowed further.
That word.
What word? The look Roswell gave me intensified, almost searching for me for something while he thought over his answer.
Nothing, it's nothing. Just a fleeting feeling that I just...
He shook his head.
Doesn't matter now. Come on, let's go meet back up with the others.
Eventually, the cops came and questioned us all. It was odd, though. No one's taken away, and we were allowed to go home first with little fuss. It was only one day later that I heard from Dean that we were all in the clear, and that they just rolled Benson's death as a suicide. Not that that went down with him, Haas, or Roswell. A week later, I was just sitting outside when I saw Roswell walking down the street. It seemed he was on the way to visit, as even upon waving him down, he made a beeline to my front gate.
Hello, Dave.
Hey. It's been a tense couple of days, especially with Haas moving back home and talks of others moving away too. You doing okay? Didn't expect you, otherwise I would have, Roswell shook his head, sighing.
No, I just wanted to swing by before doing something is all.
Do something? Anything fun? My attempts to be chipper fell on deaf ears, apparently, and he just shook his head and kept his eyes elsewhere.
Just Benson's death. If it was a suicide, there's something we could have done, right?
I guess not. But you're not about to say you still think it was a murder, do you?
Of course I am. The evidence was there.
But the police said...
I know what the police said. I know what they decided, and I disagree. That's why I'm gonna go back to the mansion and find out if I can do any investigation on my own.
But that's trespassing.
Hey, we were allowed there for the month. Besides, I can just say that I forgot something. It's not that big a deal. I would have accused Tyson of doing something so gruesome, but he can't even do math, let alone mess with the crime scene.
You don't need to go taking pot shots at Tyson. That's not fair, Roswell.
Enough. Enough of you coming to his defense whenever an analysis comes into question. This trend of you overlooking every single shortcoming he has, as if he's this idol you have, needs to stop. It's not fair on Orlando, myself, and most importantly, you. Have you just forgotten everything he did to you, to us?
But he's changed. He's a good guy now.
No, Dave. I might be a year younger, but you're much more naive.
Roswell turned to leave and I stood annoyed. I'm not naive. I know what he did. Roswell's tone was bitter, almost cold in his reply. His gaze was equally fierce, almost cruel to the point of me getting chills as I sat down again.
I was hoping that somehow you'd remember who the enemy was, Dave. You've got some kind of Stockholm syndrome that I just cannot help you through. This is betrayal, pure and simple. I just hope that one day you can wake up from whatever spell he's put you under.
It was in a daze for a few moments as Roswell stormed off and I made chase. But Roswell, wait! A week later, he turned up dead, shot apparently. Although they had no suspects, was found apparently near the mansion. I just never found out if he made it all the way there yet. With Haas gone, and Tyson driving off one day with no promise to return, that just left Sal, Orlando, Dean, and myself still in town. Last I heard from Orlando and Sal, they were taking a road trip out to visit Sal's sister, but they didn't say when they'd be back. Eventually, though, Dee and I had our date. It wasn't bad, but something's certainly missing. A week later, we tried again, and now we're just testing the waters. I've been meaning to let Orlando know, but for some reason, he just never picks up anymore. The one thing that sticks with me, though, is the note I left things on with Roswell. I wish I could have said something or done something to have ended things better. Instead, I just have his last sentiment as what I'll have to remember our friendship by. At least, hopefully, things can start getting better now. I know, betrayal. Bad End Benson again, dang. They really are very just adamant about me getting that ending. Anyways, that has been actually an hour. So yes, that was an hour with Rad Dude. Coffee shops and their sippy cup after. Piece of shit. I just gotta play along with whatever he says and pretend to laugh and then he'll go away faster. Oh!
This is fucking capitalism.
Rules for me and not for thee. Damn it! My greed has made me lose more of my money! I only get $120 for that? Dude, just drop porn on the internet instead! Who's this bitch think she is? Yes, because we can all agree to beat to a pulp that disgusting furry thing. Yep, let's just go into the next one then. Thank you guys for being here, and we are going to take a quick little break, then we'll be back with some Scribble.io! Max was going insane about that in chat, and now it's finally time. I just knew that we had to get all that going. So yes, thank you guys, and we shall be back in a bit. Say like 5 minutes, 10 at the most. Hopefully not 10, but more like closer to 5 minutes. So yeah, see you guys then. Alright, cool. Cool. See ya in a sec. Yeah. We definitely need to prevent... You're right! Chase, you're right! Okay, wait. First off, let me go on my thoughts. Okay, so, thoughts to self. I think what we have to do is we either input the betrayal code in the same place we input the Peacekeeper code, or it's not with Peacekeeper. I actually input betrayal at another scene we haven't met yet. But I'm not entirely sure if that's what we're going to do. So what I'm thinking is maybe when we get to the end of... We're going to go down the other route instead of the route we just took. We're not going to reveal Oz, and we're going to see where that goes. And if we end up getting another password thing, I'm going to put betrayal there. Because I think it'd be more useful for another place. Like, the other route might have a input code part, so I'm going to do it there. Alright. So next time we'll go off the other route. If that's not where we put in betrayal, I'll have to go back and try inputting betrayal back there. So yeah, we'll figure this out. And coming up next, guys, letting you know, Lisa and Scribble.io. So yeah. We are, but I need to end it because YouTube has like an adult filter thing. So the VODs have to be separated. The VODs get separated for a bit because YouTube is gross, and I have to kind of just do it this way. And then we start again, and then we're at Scribble.io. Alright? Alright. I can't...